Dude, Redstone is some like next level.
Oh, you go to Georgia Tech? Yeah, I was working with Redstone when I was 11. Shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah. You got a degree.
We both know what we're doing. All right.
You got a master's in computer science. I worked with Redstone.
I can make a fucking hotel with showers.
I can make a calculator.
You hear me, bro?
So
Nick, let me ask you this: do you think that STEM overall as an education platform is kind of like a trend right now, like kind of like a fad that'll go away? Like kind of like I'm not gonna compare it to like Common Core because that's kind of like a government issued thing. But STEM in itself is kind of a brand that doesn't really have an identity, and I feel like it's a trend that's gonna go away. I think so, at least.
But I think you can see it like trade schools, like back in the day.
Yeah,
dudes were going to trade school for high school all the time. Carpentry, welding, plumbing, whatever. It's just you either pick to go to a public school or you pick to go to the public trade school. And then now we have a whole bunch of 40, 50-year-old men who haven't gone to college because they went to a trade school, which is fine because they learned their trade at school.
They're happy and they make good money.
They do because it worked. But like what you're saying with STEM, I think so because, Wheeler at least, or in East Cobb Middle School had STEM in like 20, like it felt like 13? 2010 even, because they had it and I was there in 2010 or 2011 actually. But so I think East Cobb was a little ahead of the trend, but I think if like a school's like actually dedicated on like focusing on STEM, because Wheeler also doubles as a magnet school.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think like if you pair it like that, I think you would get a much better grasp at it versus some random public school that says they have a STEM program.
The reason it turned me off, and I mean, not turned me off, but I just didn't really see it as a thing that will stick in middle school and high school is because they like shoved it down our throats. They were like, oh, this is great. You should do this. This is STEM. They were treating it like they were pitching it to us. Like, let me experience
all
it for
the
myself.
slogans.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's
like
anytime anything's
and
shoved in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're never gonna like anything that's kind of forced down your throat like that.
I feel like that's with everything. Like coming back to how he's a like author and he writes books, and I don't know if I was talking about it with you guys, and like how I feel like reading a book would be great, and I feel like reading books is a great habit to get into, but we're all so like burnt out of it because we're all forced to read the same like
Yeah, but we also read so much. I mean, we're on our phones all the time. What are we doing? We're reading.
I read articles a lot. And
yes, but even that, if we're looking at Instagram, when we're looking at pictures, you might be reading the caption.
Comments.
You're on Snapchat, you're looking at stories, you're reading the title cards, and then you're clicking through the stories, and then you choose to swipe
But
up.
that reading and like reading slang
versus
on
a
Instagram
book,
versus a book is completely...
novel reading versus... social, but listen, social media.
I guess it's like that's the thing where like when it comes to reading, what's the goal? Like what are the things you achieve by
it's
reading?
What you're reading.
There's the thing of like you're learning something specific about reading.
Because novels are published,
Yeah, or two, you're just reading to like keep your mind acute because that is just the kind of the base level. But like on the subject
and stuff like that.
And like
also it goes back to what we were just saying. Like in school, you're forced to read a book or a novel. You're forced to. If you're just reading, if you want to read Harry Potter right now because you say it's entertaining, you'll enjoy it more.
Right, for
than
sure.
Reading it for assignment. For sure.
I feel like that also not trying to get political, religious. It also goes with religion to me too. I feel like a lot of people are not so fond of religion because of how much it's been shoved down like their throats, whether it's by their parents or like community.
I think the same thing about
but
politics.
But I still think that falls under
100%.
the aspect if anything shoved in your face, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah,
right. What we already said.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes back to that.
But with STEM at like our school, I think it did produce some good things. I mean, we had like one like in terms of like student benefit. I mean, we had like a robotics team that was really well.
We had a team that went overseas.
Yeah,
an F1 team that.
And like the F1 team.
And like those students
and
Wheeler
circuit runners.
Yeah, circuit runners were the robotics team.
You did not live that big of.
And those things at our school.
Wait, did you ever listen to the announcements?
Yeah, man.
They went where?
I was saying,
they went to Dubai. Yeah, Dubai.
Really?
That's
Yes, they did.
dangerous.
UFC's in Dubai now.
But it was a sports team or it's like academic?
No, oh
It's
my
a
God, TJ,
robotics
you
team.
were at Wheeler
Robotics.
for like 2 seconds.
Whoa.
Bro.
You answer that.
Okay, but like, I mean, that's a small
Like they-
portion of students.
Like a big ass robot? Created like a big
There's a
I'll tell
car,
you about it
man.
later. We'll tell you about it later, okay?
It's
Let me
not
say
like,
something.
It's not like Zoe 101 death bots, bro.
Okay. But with that, so it is a small portion of students, but I do think it benefits those students, as in like those students that will actually go into robotics and they'll actually maybe do something with their lives. And then as a whole, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably looking at it through rose covered glasses, but like I have a very positive perception of Wheeler and for the most part it's academics, where like I view very positively the environment of teaching there, as well as a lot of the things that have come out of it. I mean, in our senior year we saw the manifestation of the Wheeler Club that grows food and gives it to
Oh yeah, I
families in
remember
need.
that. I had to do
Wheeler
so much
Fresh.
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Wheeler
Wheeler
Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Fresh.
dope. I didn't know about that.
and it was called a cross-curricular STEAM
I
campaign.
love that.
Oh, dude, it had nothing to do with anything, bro. Like it was, they were trying to
think
make
about
it
it.
steam
Think
so
about
bad.
No,
Think
it
about
did. It
Okay.
did.
Horticulture, they made a website, like the computer science kid
Okay.
made a website. The business classes from Mrs. From our friend's mom, who ran the business classes,
Hey, what's up, bro?
they
Hit my man.
they directed like the efforts in general. It was like a cross class movement. I do think that was a good result of having like a STEAM focused program.
That's a great example, Adam. I didn't even think about that, but that's a
TJ, are you mad that I hit you?
Bro, you were just fucking assaulting the man for like
Like
5
twice, this
seconds.
nigga going back to back to back.
Wait, did I hit him more
What
than
did I say, Nick?
Wait, did I-
Every time.
Did I hit him more than once?
Hell yeah, this motherfucker going back to back to back.
Is it not obvious
Like
that you hit this man?
like
I did
twice.
More than one time.
I only noticed once. I
All Nick
promise.
sees my head going like this
No,
in the camera.
to be honest with you, I really just caught the last one because I just see you looking at me like, what the fuck is this man doing? Like, speak up, bro.
Okay, we'll have to look it back to the recording. But
We'll have to have an instant
We'll rope it back
replay.
in.
I'm very confused. I'm sure Jack is too.
He just looks so.
I can't.
Jack's
see
just
anything, so
he's been dealing with this for the last 35 minutes. So he'll be
Yeah.
all right.
But so we were talking about STEM in schools
Yeah.
and all that, and I do think that
Mhm.
I think it's good, and I definitely think it's what I really advocate for the pushing of kids to not the pushing, but the like opening avenues for kids to go to trade schools after high school, and I think that
After high school?
yeah, like trade colleges to learn like a craft, because you know it's sort of been
I feel like we should
deintegrated
just.
from like a high
I
school.
feel like we should just have trade school because my dad went
Trade-
to a trade school.
I think
The
a trade high
trade
school
school
If you would say,
degree
like,
isn't going to
Avitech,
overtake a high school degree.
I mean, but like if someone like wants to just be like, I want to do this.
Well,
That's the thing. It's like, well, when it's in high school, like our curriculum has sort of solidified in high school where it would have to be probably
Common Core.
it would probably have to
Mhm.
be a post high school thing. But
If
the
they
thing-
could do like a dual enrollment type of situation, like where kids go to like college.
yeah, focus on
you
it
know?
more because what we see now is that so many college degrees don't do anything for you in a workplace, and
Honestly,
there's still such. but we're losing trade people now. Like
Yeah.
we're losing carpenters and plumbers.
That's
and
why
all
they
that.
get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, and like they
Like,
get paid good
if
money.
you want to go into welding,
And yeah, and even like
they make bank.
bro, they make bank welders,
Yeah.
plumbers, low key.
They
Just, you know,
stacking
Kevin?
on bread.
Does he make big?
Kevin Roca?
yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well, Kevin is a granite man, and
he
that's
flexes,
a whole other.
he flexes
that's
so
a-
hard.
That's a whole other
Man,
Realm of
material of just like.
but all forms of education are so influential.
where I was saying, like, I'm really glad like they did that to the people that came in after us, because a lot of people just did gym back to back to back to back to
like
back
the
to
kids
back to
just-
back to back to back, weight training, gym, team sports, back to back. Like
But then
at some
again-
point you gotta like get
True.
tired.
Yeah.
True, but
Mhm.
then again, you also got to understand some of the kids got like the mindset that sports is going to carry them a long way. You know, and that's where you get most of those kids that are picking, you know, gym and athletics and stuff back to back to back. But I do feel like we definitely I'm not just singling out Wheeler because I think after Coach Love came, he sort of kind of did dispute to the players like, okay, football may not be your only outlet, so you might want to start picking them grades up big time.
And he got a lot of the football players to just
Definitely.
accept the scholarship just to get that education.
Yes, definitely, regardless
Good
of
for
what it
him,
was
man.
in. So like I applaud stuff like that, but I think schools in general need to do it because, like I said, education is very influential. It's one of our 10 institutions which make up our society, so it's very needed. But you know, we have to have a better structure in schooling, you know, as far as them encouraging students like, okay, you can learn how to maintain basketball, football, and get good grades. You ain't got to just focus on one.
So, funny you say that. That's what I put in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the character, right, he plays soccer, but also has, like, a little business he has. But he wants to get another job, so he looks at all these different. You can look at these different jobs, which ones pay more for how long you work, and then you like choose a bank or it might be a credit union. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get my ass whooped for saying the wrong thing. Dead ass. Anyways, I'm
Laws
pretty.
are different over on the island,
Getting
bro.
you fired, but like retroactively.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's a credit union you join. I think there's options though, and that's the thing. Like you actually kind of want to read it because they might be finessing you. But then it's also like you need to. It's called the neighbor mood because like your financial and not just financial, but like how you interact affects your community and like the people around you. So like, you want to balance school, but you also want to balance your finances without teetering over too much. And if you teeter like too far in one, like if you go bankrupt over, if you like are failing over, but you also have like this whole storyline where at school and you can make these decisions of like, do I skip class or do I like what do I want to do?
That's dope though.
It's literally I try like it wasn't just me, like they did so. I just like hope with the story.
Yeah, were you just more
portion,
like a creative? Okay.
That I will say I had a lot of time put in because that, bro, I did not